Alright, so I'm always using this video game analogy to talk about life as a spiritual game, and today I want to talk about NPCs, because quite frankly, I was born one, and you probably were too. I also want to talk about how I made the shift from NPC to player character. If you're watching this, I assume you know what an NPC is, but if not, it's referring to a non-player character in a video game, or NPC for short. So basically, any character in a game that's being controlled by the computer as opposed to being played by a person holding a controller is an NPC. So when I say I was born an NPC, what do I mean? Well, when I was younger, especially as a small child, I would react to certain stimuli without any higher awareness at all. And to be perfectly honest, I still do sometimes. So let's say someone would call me a mean name, like a doo-doo head or something. I would instantly get angry and start saying mean things back, or maybe even start throwing punches. Having that type of knee-jerk, instant reaction is being an NPC. It's as if I was being controlled by some outside force rather than willing or choosing my own actions or reactions. However, if I were to approach that same situation with mindful awareness, I would be able to notice the anger beginning to rise up inside of me before acting on it. For the purposes of the video game analogy, I like to call this being in observer mode. Having this mindful observer quality gives the player a buffer zone to make a conscious decision about whether or not to act upon the initial gut reaction, or to choose a different potential outcome, such as laughing it off or ignoring it or whatever. Only when we approach life from the position of the observer are we actually able to play the game. And by doing so, we move from being an NPC into the role of player character. A great example of this from pop culture is in the films Back to the Future.
What happens to us in the future? What do we become, assholes or something?
In those movies, Marty goes through his adventures knowing that he would be injured in a car accident after being called a chicken, which you know he hates, which would drive him, pun intended, to enter into a street race that does not end well for our intrepid hero. But when the time comes, being armed with this insight, he's able to find his higher awareness and recognize the anger he felt in that moment, and instead make the choice not to race. By doing so, Marty was able to change his probable destiny and create a better future for himself by becoming a player in the game of life rather than being played by it. So that's basically the idea. If you want to be a player in the game of life, be like Marty. Learn to find the position of the observer so you can find that extra room to operate, so to speak. Of course, this is not always so easy, and the more intense or emotionally charged a situation is, the harder it is to find this separation. That's why I think it's best to practice this always, especially when things are easy and going smooth and well. That way we can make it habit. And that habit makes it much easier to enter observer mode when the going gets tough, when we really need it. I'll be sharing the tools I use to do just that in upcoming videos, but one thing that is always helpful is to have a daily meditation practice. Good old meditation, you can't go wrong there. Let me know what you think. Were you born an NPC too, or is it just me? And if you don't mind hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. And please consider subscribing. This channel could definitely use some support. And if you'd like to go deeper into my video game analogy approach to spirituality, check out the video popping up right now. And that's it for today. Talk to you later. Peace.